Hey, it's Luna, aka your local Kobold. Today we're going to be continuing on from last time. We've finished 2 of the rookie stages so far, and we're going to be doing the last 2 before we go to the championship. So I think we'll start off with Supermarket, which I have some mixed feelings about this stage. Like, I don't know, I love the aesthetic of it, but there's an ice floor on it, which it's fun. And it totally is completely steerable on. So yeah, we're going to be maybe taking on the championship this run through, but I'm not 100% sure if we have time. This is unfortunate, but we land on our wheels. I've recently got on a wireless adapter for my controller, so there should be a little bit less cable being poked into microphone noise. Unfortunately, I've been having some technical issues, but it seems to be working fine now. Oh, I done goofed real bad. That was completely by accident, but completely also beneficial to us. First track done, if I keep this up. Championship this episode. So next up we have Museum. Well, Museum 2, because for some reason they start you off with the second one first. The first one's a lot more difficult than this one. This one's just still a bit tricky. It's one of the first majorly complicated stages, I'd say. Like, it's not awful, because compared to some of the other stages, can be very confusing to get yourself around when you first go through them, but this one has a few points like this I've seen quite a few new players get confused by, and the part that's coming up now where we've got this turnaround, people get caught on that shortcut there quite a lot, which I guess it's a shortcut. It more often than not will slow you down, but it's technically less distance. I forget how slippery these floors are, because this game actually has different floors have different effects on your vehicle. It's kind of cool. Is also sometimes it's a bit awkward to get around. Like, wet grass is very slippery, ice floors very slippery. Some are also a lot more grippy, so suddenly your steering will be way better than it normally is, and it's just getting used to all of those is quite difficult for new players getting into this. I remember when I first picked up this game, I had a lot of those times where I was just like, yeah, no, I'm putting this game down and not playing it again, because I just got so frustrated with it. I'm glad I did continue getting better at this and learning it, because it's a really great game. Hopefully, if we can overtake Dust Mite, should be on our way to winning. I have no idea how that rocket didn't throw me off the track, but I'm not complaining. Just gotta take this corner, and we should be home free as long as Harvester doesn't do what I think he's trying to do. Okay, so yeah, championship this episode then. Oh, and yes, we get a couple new cars. Uh, namely Mouse, which is I think the first amateur car you unlock at this tier, unless you do like time trials and other stuff. Uh, so yeah, championship, as I mentioned last episode, is you go through a few stages. I think this one's there's 4 stages. I was gonna say 3, and they'll have different modifiers on them. Like the stage might be mirrored or reversed, or it might have like 6 laps instead of 3. Uh, so yeah, back at Toys in the Hood, which was the first stage that I showed you guys in the first episode. Uh, I've been getting a little bit of practice in the stage off stream because I realised how rusty I was coming back to this game. I'd put it down for like a couple years and picked it up again, and I was like, oh yeah, this game, I love this game, and realised just how much skill ceiling this game has. I probably didn't want to use that just yet, I guess. It worked out perfectly fine. Drop that right there and hope someone moves into it. And we're far away from any opponents, and we have a bomb, and no hopes of giving it to anyone. Oh, so I thought I might be able to. No, there's no chance. So yeah, interesting thing about this game I forgot and recently got reminded about. This game's like some weird dystopian future sort of thing where you've got this toy company who basically made sentient AI remote control cars and pushed them into doing a death race, and said toy company ended up also going into like the food industry and a few other things. Like you'll see some logos throughout this game with just the word like toy bowl or like food bowl or stuff like that. Yeah, there's just some weird plot about sentient cars wanting to do a death race, blowing each other up for like championship cups and whatnot. This doesn't come up at any point in the game. It's, I think, only comes up in a manual. Back of the box, I think, also has a shortened version of it. It basically just boils down to Megacorp decided to make totally not military-grade remote control car toys that were being sold to kids. Unfortunately, we've lost the first track, but that should be fine because we still qualify. We don't need to come first every stage, we just need to do better overall. So as long as Dr. Grudge doesn't win the next one, we should be fine. She says with a lot of hope in her heart. Oh. I can make you do a spinny as well. So can that guy. Sometimes this game loves just throwing the same weapon at every single car and just being like, hey, here's a bunch of chaos. Likely going to save that because I don't trust myself to be able to get over this before everyone else, and now I do. Oh yeah, so this will be the first stage with a modifier on, so it's got 4 laps instead of 3 laps like the other stage did. The other stage we just did, Toys in the Hood, is that was just a box standard stage. You don't get any other stage modifiers until later, really. I don't think you get your first mirror stage until Silver Cup or something. The easier way to unlock these reverse and mirror stages, to be honest, is just, rather than trying to do them in championship mode, unlocking them by doing time trials. If you manage to beat the challenge mode time, you unlock I think it's the reverse stage and then the mirror stage, and then you can do reverse mirror stages. Ended up not using that weapon for the entire thing. Excuse me. So yeah, we're currently first. Back at the museum. Hopefully the track I build a run of this stage I just did a moment ago will give me some needed practice to go through this, or I could crash into a wall. I could also crash into a wall. I love the black hole distortion effect that the subspace bomb or whatever it's called has as you fire it forwards. Seeing that on a PlayStation 1 for the first time was just wow, the graphics in this game were amazing at the time. It feels silly now looking at this and how low res and boxy everything is, but all the time when this game was top-notch graphics. Maybe I can slow down and force them to go into that. Yes. I mean, it didn't help me at all, but I succeeded. Get a cheeky rocket off at the Dr. Grudge. Oh. I didn't see that coming. I would say that this is fine, but we've only got one more lap after this and I'm quite far behind. The Grudge has messed themselves up in some oil. I get Harvester down. Okay. I should be sorted, having electricity up and electricity on hold. And I don't think we'll be passed, as long as I don't do something silly like that. The AI is being really aggressive today. Leave some oil there to just mess people up as they go around this corner, but it wasn't exactly needed because we win. Okay, we've basically secured our place in first place, so long as we don't come, I think, lower than third. One more track to go and back at Botanical Gardens. Cool. Oh yeah, something that probably will be helpful to people who are getting into this for the first time. Don't bother looking at the stats of cars when you're picking them. Go based on how they feel to drive. The stats are completely arbitrary. It's just 3 bars that can be set manually in the parameters when you're making cars and stuff, and the devs basically did the same thing. Sometimes a car will just randomly say yeah, it's got massive top speed, but it actually has the same top speed as another car. They do have different speeds, different accelerations, different weights and whatnot, but it all depends on the shape of the car, the weight of the car, all different things like that. Don't think the game is quite complicated enough to have aerodynamics sorted out, but the shape of the car definitely does matter for like things like that, where you can just push over some people because they got big wheels, or using big wheels to go over the top of other people, whether or not your car gets stuck to a wall if you bump into the wall whilst going past. That wasn't good, but fortunately, that was a massive dirt. We've got 2 more laps, so we should hopefully still have a chance. Oh no. I think you get retries if you fail really badly enough to not qualify, so we might not have completely lost here because we might be able to redo this last track, but currently it's not looking so good for us. Thanks, repositioner, for putting me straight back into the oil. Okay. It's fine. Yeah, I think we've lost this one. Yeah, you got 3 retries, so we might still have this. So this car just in front, Colmoss, I used to really dislike this car because I thought it wasn't that good. Turns out you learn something new about stuff you love every day, because I picked up that car just for, like, to laugh, basically. And it turns out it's got really good handling and really good weight. It, like, glues itself to the floor, basically. I don't know, when I was younger, I decided it was bad because it didn't have very good speed. I was struggling to control it. I should also point out I was not good at this game when I was younger, so I very likely was just like, yeah, no, Vulcan Turbo was like best car and nothing else is as good. When I am well ahead nowadays, there's lots of cars that are very comparable and even better than the Vulcan. Speaking of my first time playing through this, I vaguely remember really enjoying Dr. Grudge as a car to use, because I think on the PlayStation 1 they're locked when you first get the game. You have to unlock them by doing some of the stages. Using them in the championship just made it so much easier. I also, at this stage, didn't like Vulcan Turbo because it's like, no, it doesn't look like a remote control car, it's like a real car, but remote control scale. Got a very big lead on RC Bandit. Should hopefully just be one more easy lap of no one trying to mess us over. I take it easy and don't mess myself up, we should have this. Oh. Heck. Yeah, and no one can stop us now. That's a victory. Yes. And we get this small animation of cars dancing, because how else would you celebrate winning when you're a sentient car in a death race? When dancing on a pillar with your fellow runner-ups. And so yeah, we got a couple new cars as you can see on screen. I'm gonna call this episode here, and we'll go on to the amateur stages after this. I've been Luna, your local Kobold. If you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe. We've got a new series about to start up where I'll be playing through Rayman 1 on the PlayStation 1. So if you want to keep up with that, then subscribing is a good way to get notified about that. If you enjoyed this, leave a like. If you got any criticisms or just want to say you enjoyed it, commenting is good as well. Other than that, I'll be seeing you.